Tim Colletts is at Enoggera Barracks where Corporal Keighran served, and Tim, he was part of Delta Company, which certainly has a rich history of bravery.
Certainly, Bill, a history carved in blood. It was back in August 1966 when Delta Company 6 RAR, based here at Enoggera, literally bumped into a force of 2,500 regular North Vietnamese soldiers, unleashing the Battle of Long Tan. Now, legends were created that day, and another one created today when Corporal Daniel Keighran had pinned to his chest our ultimate war medal, the VC for Valour. Daniel Keighran really has no right to be still walking among us.
Yeah, boss, 80 metres to our north, that aqueduct you're getting shot at. 80 metres, mate.
Yeah, that next aqueduct to the north, boss.
These images, recorded on helmet cam, captured the firefight where fear and bravery mixed with valour and mateship to earn no higher honour. Somewhere out on an exposed ridgeline, Corporal Dan Keighran managed to switch off his instinct to survive for a friend in trouble.
Hold it. Dan's guy's got a gunshot wound.
Lance Corporal Jared McKinney had been badly wounded and wouldn't survive the battle. He was also pinned down among colleagues by an enemy closing for the kill. With the situation dire, Dan Keighran deliberately exposed himself time and again as a target for machine gunners. As he shouted enemy positions back to mortar and artillery support, he attracted even more gunfire, but somehow survived, and the battle turned. Our third Afghanistan War VC recipient was created in a firefight 2 years old now. But it was 4 years before this that a friendship was forged in Iraq. Keighran and McKinney served together training local Iraqis, but it would be the fight where he couldn't save his mate that will be honoured amongst so many.
Look, he was one of my good mates, and you know it's hard to talk about this sort of stuff as well. So look, I'll just leave it at that for the time being.
What is it about members of Delta Company 6 RAR which turns out so many soldiers of honour? Dan Keighran is one, but it was in another era, in another war, when Delta Company first earned its place in history in a sodden rubber plantation called Long Tan. Dan Keighran's war is over. These days he still wears a helmet, but not on a battleground, but in a Kalgoorlie gold mine. But his legend still stands tall in Khaki.
But perhaps the greatest honour comes from one of his comrades who said, "I would fight to serve with Corporal Dan Keighran in the future."
That's our Chief of Army, David Hurley. Now, what strikes you most about Daniel Keighran is his humbleness. He's almost introverted, much happier talking about his mates rather than himself. But I guess, Georgie, that might be the stuff of which true heroes are made.